All right, it started raining on us, so we had to come in the barn, and we had a topic that was given to us by Chelsea on how to saddle a horse. It's probably been a while, maybe since she's rode or had to saddle her own horse. But really, Trevor gives me a hard time because I saddle backwards, and I do saddle backwards, but I have a reason for it. And one reason, so all my cinches are always hooked on this side, like everybody's, unless you throw them over. But even if you throw them over, you have to adjust them. So like, I'll ride 10 to 15 horses a day and throw the saddle on them, and so I'm constantly having to adjust my cinches. If I didn't have to adjust my cinches, it wouldn't be a big deal. But I always throw it on from this side, so I can make sure that my cinches are adjusted, and then I can just walk around to the other side and saddle. But like I said, Trevor likes to make fun of me, but if I throw it on from the other side, I gotta walk around the horse, undo it, check my cinches, and then walk back around the horse. So on top of me being left-handed, I think it's easier just to saddle from this side, even though Trevor makes fun of me and says it's backwards. And then carrying on, I always like to make sure that I got the same amount of distance from the back of my saddle to the end of my pad and the front of my saddle. So like every pad we ride is this Relentless pad by Cactus. And so it's pretty easy to get used to just throwing it on there, but I want them to be balanced. I don't want my saddle up over the front of my pad like this. That's a no-no for me, or for Gracie, because really Gracie saddles all my horses. But I like it to be balanced, and I don't want it off the back. I guess you could add that to my list of pet peeves. I don't like when a saddle's not on the pad right. And then I'm super stickler about making sure that these rings that like your tie down and your breast collar snap and everything hooked to are right in the middle. So when I saddle, I'll want it to, if I'm testing it to see if it's right, I'll want it to be offset to the right just a little bit, so when I pull it tight, it'll be dead center. I don't want it off in either one of their armpits where it can rub them raw or something. If they're going on the walker, we'll tighten them up. Not as tight as we would if we were roping, but pretty tight. Because like if they're trotting on the walker, they'll be at kind of a pace is just kind of a bouncing trot. And if that back cinch is loose, that saddle will just bounce up and down. And sometimes it'll rub them back here. And then like if they're just standing here tied up, I won't cinch them up too tight. A lot of times I see people cut them in two, and they'll just stand there tight, and then they end up getting hard down here where the cinch goes. So I'm a stickler about how the saddle's sitting on a horse's back, how it is on the pad, how they're cinched up depending on what they're doing. I don't want them set there cinched up tight all the time if they're not doing nothing. And I don't want my saddle loose and rolling off of them if you're ponying them around or leading them, or if they're on the walker or something. And I've got several different kinds of saddles that all fit different, because I'm big on how a saddle fits a horse. I think they're gonna pack a saddle and a human around all the time. The saddle needs to fit them. If we're gonna ask them to perform at the level that we demand of them, we need to have a saddle that fits them. So anyway, that's elaborating on my backwards saddling and why it makes sense to me why it doesn't make sense to Trevor that I have to walk around the horse once and he has to walk around the horse twice. So anyway, that's why I do it backwards.